Think big. Charge fast. Polynovel MBS 240, the all-in-one mobile battery system for commercial storage and emergency charging. Inside, 314 Li-Fe-Po4 battery cells, 768-volt nominal voltage, and 241 kilowatt-hours of usable capacity. It's not just storage, it's a 120 kilowatts rapid charging hub. Delivers both DC and AC output power simultaneously. Flexible multi-source recharging, from the grid, an EV charger, or directly from solar through the built-in 50 kilowatts MPPT. Intelligent EMS offers real-time monitoring and control, giving you full visibility and optimization, not guesswork. Rated IP54 for the enclosure and IP67 for connectors. Works from -30 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. A built-in 3 kilowatts air conditioner with heating keeps battery temperature uniform, reducing annual capacity degradation. Need seamless backup? The 300 kilovolt amp STS handles automatic switching in a blink. Put it to work: mobile EV charging hubs, construction sites, grid peak shaving, and off-grid solar storage with rapid discharge. All this in a compact footprint under 2.5 tons. MBS 240. Power your business. Future-proof your energy. Visit polinovelbest.com for more details.
É na jornada Equity que eu acho meus próximos sócios. Todos os dias eu recebo pedidos de investimento, de smart money, de pessoas que pensam que é muito complicado falar comigo. Mas não é. Durante 2 dias eu faço junto com o Theo Braga, da SME, um evento chamado Jornada Equity, feito justamente para isso. Esse evento é a porta de entrada para todo mundo que quer fazer negócio comigo. É lá que eu filtro os bons negócios. Isso porque nele eu ensino todo o conhecimento que eu sei sobre equity e nova economia. Isso nivela os empresários para poder termos uma conversa mais avançada de nível estratégico. E se tiver energia, vai ter negócio. Ou seja, se você também tem vontade de estar em um ambiente de alto nível, avançar seu nível empresarial, chegou a oportunidade certa. Toca agora no botão abaixo, vem fazer parte dessa próxima edição da jornada. Um novo futuro empresarial já está te aguardando.
We're given a huge list of vehicles, creatures, environments, and whatnot to design. And it was just a matter of sitting down and trying to comprehend, where to start first, and then how to design something that will live up to the expectations of everybody that's going to see this film. George is very reactive, and he likes to kind of see things. And he basically just said, I need single-person fighters and shuttles and so forth. So is this like a small shuttle type thing? No, I don't know what it is.
Don't ask me those technical questions. It's neat, that's all.
My decisions on what is aesthetically pleasing is really hard to nail down, because what I like is, obviously going to be different from what somebody else likes. It's a matter of getting in sync with George, and I hope that I've kind of gotten in sync with George on this film. For the Starfighter, the good guys, It started out very differently because I initially thought that the ships would be very angular, like the X-Wing, but George wanted to go more towards the handcrafted look. George would come in every Friday for our weekly meetings, and it was very difficult sometimes because we spent a lot of time and energy to, draw beautiful drawings, and we put them up on the wall. And George will dismiss these designs very quickly, and it took me a while to get used to it because one of our first couple of meetings, I would put up a wall full of designs, and he would look at it literally after 10 seconds, say, I like this one, this one, this one. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 kind of had the industrial mentality in terms of spaceships were punched out. They were kind of like plastic materials. Things were kind of mass-produced. It kind of happened with the industrial design in the United States. We had, an era in the 20s and 30s where things were more romantic and the craftsmen were the king. But then slowly, as the Industrial Revolution took over, machinery and mass production became the norm. I'm not quite sure if this is George's take, but for me, when that pattern clicked, everything made sense in terms of designing for this film.
I was very clever in the first Star Wars films in that I kept the design very simple, and I avoided situations where I was going to get into trouble design-wise. This one, I'm daring to take the chance and see what happens.
I think about this constantly. I mean, it's going to the third year, and there hasn't been a day or an hour where I haven't thought of something that could work. On the Starfighter alone, we went through easily 3 dozen drawings.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
That's only one vehicle in a world populated by many vehicles, many creatures, everything. For weathering, to see if this is the right amount, too much, not enough, what your general reaction is.
I would say this is the most distressed.
Okay.
And then they can do minor, less versions of this.
Okay. Now, the other thing that we haven't really addressed is like paint chips and things. Do you want to see
I
that?
think we can keep it pretty much the way it is. I mean, the one thing that I would tone down a little bit is this.
Okay. It's kind of a little too dirty.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole point of this is what works for the story. It could be the coolest thing, but if people don't know what it is or how it works in 5 seconds, it doesn't matter.
The first full-size set that was started 2 weeks ago is Anakin's interior. I think that'll be the first set that George will see in about 5 or 6 weeks' time. This is the reworkings of Anakin's with an entranceway into there.
Yeah.
Added an extra little alcove on this side and the doorway straight out.
It should feel smaller.
So definitely bring the ceiling down.
Yeah, I would bring the whole thing down and make it, kind of a little bubble-ish.
We're 8 weeks away from production now. Well, we're 8 weeks away from shooting, and the adrenaline's pumping, and we're churning things out as though there's no tomorrow.
When you got to have this finished by?
Tomorrow.
You'll need to bend a tube there and the intermediate one in here.
Yes.
Rake up here, we're going to put a decking up here.
Yeah.
And that forms our platform.
Excellent.
Anakin's Hub was quite an interesting one because obviously it was back in Tatooine and George wanted it to have a certain feel of the homestead from Star Wars.
The look of the movie is very, very important, and you want to develop a look that doesn't call attention to itself, that is very natural, but is very unusual at the same time, and gives you this sense of an otherworldly situation. So we could take this out,
Yes.
and then we can sort of dress
And use it for real.
dress this with
junk.
parts and
Yeah.
whatnot, which would be great. That would look good.
George was saying, let's make it like any 9-year-old kid's bedroom, But of course, he lives in Tatooine, which is kind of slightly different. Now, if you don't mind, I'd just like to wander around a couple of the sets.
Yep, we're ready.
Okay, we are.
Yeah. Well, I saw some of the photos of the set starting to go up.
Yep.
Home sweet home. All right, great.
Okay.
We've never dared go this far. But
It's sort of the first intimate area you've had almost, isn't it?
yeah, it is. We never saw Luke's bedroom.
Or anything, yeah.
You know, it is important that we make this a warm boys' room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
it's only 9.
I'm not sure about a closet, but
We could hang around on the bed.
well, you could put a closet over there.
In our 20th century environment, the majority of things just blend in. It's not until you lay on your bed and you start to count all those different bits and pieces that you got there that go to make up your own set at home that you realise that you're actually recreating an environment like that, but in a completely different world.
72, take 19, pick up our big cameras, and action.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to Ty Teager, who's our prop master.
Hi.
And an integral part of our team with all the boys that we've got working here. Probably the best bunch of hooligans I've ever worked with in my life.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You're a darling.
So, this is kind of our prop store. These came out of mainframe computers, which we'll either use as dressing or incorporate into something else. And in fact, already we've sort of taken half of them and put them in the panels in Anakin's room. All of this will be things that will be used in the Tatooine Street in the markets for displaying. You're going to be selling something down in Covent Garden, but it's not, it's the Tatooine Street. I think these are gaskets, aren't they?
Yeah, those are
Awesome.
gaskets.
Yeah.
That's an aerial off a fighter aeroplane. Held together with lots of very strong glue.
Yep. Very strong, believe it or not.
I mean, the only way you can actually realise what to do is by getting the boys here to actually come up with ideas.
What do you call it? Gizmo, techno sort of looking sci-fi equipment, really.
It's boys in paradise, really.
Yes, yeah,
doing all boys
it's a boys'
stuff.
film.
It's a boys' film. Unless, of course, we were women, and then it would be women doing a boys' film.
I feel like I'm in some guerrilla army polishing guns.
It's just like doing a sculpture. We'd have the base of the gun, and then we start to put things together like a jigsaw and say, well, that looks good on the top there. And all of a sudden, you've got a finished article. You know, when George comes over, we have everything nicely laid out, rather than saying, oh, there's a bit over here, George, there's a bit over there, there's a bit over there. Because he wants to be able to see it in its nicest possible way.
Yeah, it's like having an exhibition every time he comes over.
That's a very good way of putting it, yeah.
Attachment for when he fires the cable. So what we're thinking of doing is making these out of a cast which actually fit onto the gun, which you can then take off the fire.
Perfect.
So that'll be on there, and then bang.
These are actually castings of the real original, but I think they're a gun that's held over like that. These are the machine guns, yeah, dummy machine guns. I mean, obviously they're making real shooting versions of these as well. There's a shot where they all pull the guns out of the holsters and put the rockets in the end like that.
Bang.
Binoculars.
Very good. Everybody looks so close. Should be something nice.
That was going to be the comlink for the Jedi.
No, that's good.
Okay.
we're always a bit selfish. We'd like as much stuff to be seen as possible. And like the piece that you were spinning, I mean, that's a fabulous part. And maybe before they turn over, George would just have it spinning slightly. And things like that almost build up, don't they? They might actually start on that and pull out and reveal everything else, you know.
Thanks a lot.
The story's the most important, not the props. And you've got to get used to that. But it is the actors that are the most important, obviously. You know, we're just the background stuff, really.
Well, as you can see, guys, that was an amazing tense situation between me and George Lucas, and we did okay. Thank you very much.
I think he's fun. Does he speak? No sound. No. Well, they'll probably put some noises. Some soundtrack. No, it's just one of the senators. So he's almost a cutaway. We've got tons of these that are just
a few shots. Yeah.
In the middle of a major scene. But it's great.